Hi Zulily fans, it's Amy here. I am the arts and crafts and DIY guru here at Zulily. Thank you so much for stopping on this video segment. Today I have a really fun project to share with you guys for National Craft Month. It's your favorite project, the hottest trend in art making, paint pouring. Today we are going to be using the swirl technique, which is relatively new. I just saw it and I wanted to share it with you guys. And I'm going to be using a new product that we have for the first time on Zulily. It is the folk art marbling paint. This paint is incredible and I'll tell you why. So if you've ever seen paint pouring where you have to mix paint and then a pouring medium in order to get it to the right consistency, and you've thought, I don't know how to do that. This is the product for you because there is no mixing required. It is ready to use straight out of the bottle. We're just gonna squeeze and go. So let's get right into it. So I'm gonna pick some colors. I kind of wanna go with something that's kind of rainbowy and is gonna swirl in almost this kind of like ethereal unicorn sort of funness. So I'm gonna pick out my colors. I'm gonna line them up exactly the way that I want to pour them into my cup. So let's go total rainbow. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of white as an accent. So literally all I'm gonna do is take the bottle and start layering the paint into my pouring cup. So squeezing it straight out of the bottle, no mixing required. This is ready to go. So I'm gonna do a layer of pink. There is no right or wrong answer to paint pouring. This is total free-form art. You do not have to be good at any specific art technique. You don't have to have ever needed to paint before in your life. This is great for crafters of all kinds. Great to do with kids at the kitchen table. Just get yourself a shower curtain or a drop cloth, cover all of your surfaces to make sure that you can easily clean up afterwards, because this is a messy project, and get to going. So I'm just layering my colors in my cup to get ready for this paint pour. If you are just tuning in, we are doing a really fun paint pouring project with a relatively new technique that I just saw called the swirl technique. I'm really excited to share this with you guys and share with you the folk art marbling paint, which requires no mixing. It's ready to use right out of the bottle. So we're layering our colors. I'm doing this super fun, bright, springy rainbow pattern, and I'm mixing in just a little bit of white to give us some accent in between these color blends. All right, on to the last color here, this dark blue. All right. I'm going to do just a few more spots of white to give us some contrast in between all these colors. There we go. So here is what our paint cup looks like after we've layered all of the colors in it. Really fun. Now we're going to try this swirl technique. So if you've ever seen paint pouring videos before, you're kind of familiar with the dirty pour, where you put the canvas on top and then flip. We're not going to do any flipping today, so no worries of paint splattering all across your room. We're just simply going to swirl and pour right onto our canvas. So I'm gently going to tip the cup and start pouring straight onto the canvas, and then ever so slightly I'm going to swirl the cup as I streak across the canvas. So that's what gives us all of these layers of the colors that we poured down on the canvas. So now we've got it on the canvas, and we're going to tilt our paint and get that to spread. So we're just tilting and tilting and getting that liquid paint to spread across the canvas. So I also like to get it to spread a little bit better, I like to tap the corner of my canvas on the table. That helps give it a little bit more force to go. Okay, so that looks about as far as we're gonna get with that layer. And then what's really fun is you can actually go into these other spaces and get more swirl and dimension just by adding a little bit more paint. So I'm gonna squeeze a little bit more pink into my cup. I'm gonna kind of go into this area down here, a little more orange, a little more yellow, and then we're gonna swirl the opposite direction in this space right here. There is literally no right or wrong answer to paint pouring. That is what is so fun about it. So we're gonna get some swirl happening back into that paint that we already laid down and then out to the edges. And I'm just tapping on the table to get that paint to spread a little bit better for me. Oh my gosh. Look at this cool swirly tie-dye situation that's almost happening right here. Love that. What I also like to use to get the paint to spread a little bit more are my handy dandy fingers. So you can just take the paint and literally use your fingers to drag it to the edges where it's being a little bit stubborn. And then tap a little bit more to get the swirl to go into that edge. Same thing over here. And then you're gonna keep tapping, tap, tap, tapping. And we need a little bit more paint to get us all the way to the finish line. So I'm gonna go back through and fill in a little bit more of these spaces. Get more of that tie-dye swirl happening. If you are just tuning in, we are doing the swirl technique paint pouring using folk art marbling paint, which is on Zulily for the first time today. It is a really unique style of paint that you can use to do paint pouring and marbling techniques that does not have to be mixed with a mixing medium. It's ready to use right out of the jar. So you don't have to worry about getting the proportions right. It is ready to use for any crafter. So we're just getting a little bit more paint in our swirling cup, and then we're gonna fill in some of these spaces down here where we've got some white canvas area. And then right up here, we're gonna swirl a little bit more. So this swirl technique is layering the paint in the cup, and then as you are pouring the paint onto the canvas, you just gently swirl the cup in a circle to get it to give you this ripply effect. How cool is that? So now we're gonna tilt the paint back into itself. I'm gonna give it a gentle turn and keep tilting. What is so great about paint pouring is that you don't have to be an artist. Anyone can do this. We're just pouring paint onto a canvas and tipping and tapping and tilting until we get coverage. So I'm going to use my fingers again here on the corners to get it to spread. So just tapping the canvas and pulling the paint out to the edges with my fingers where it's being a little bit stubborn. That's okay. So we're just pulling that paint into those stubborn crevices. And even a little bit right there. And then on this side, we're just going to pull the paint with the best tools that are already with us, our fingers. And then there's just one spot on the end here. I'm going to blur that line by tapping, tap, tap, tapping. And then blurring those lines. And we're done. We have a masterpiece. Look how cool that is. It's like this tie-dye, rainbow, cool unicorn, swirly creation. So here we go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick and easy demonstration of paint pouring using the Folk Art marbling paint available on Zulily today. Be sure to check out the link in the post. Go pick some up, give it a try. It's super simple, super easy, and really, really fun. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.